Exercise.
Along with healthy eating, it's very important to be physically active. So next we're going to share with you the new physical activity guidelines. First of all older adults should avoid inactivity. Every week, try for at least 150 minutes of moderate intensity activities. These would be things like walking, gardening, or cycling. Or try for 75 minutes of vigorous activity. Now, for more benefits, of course, be more active for longer periods of time, and you may even think about doubling these amounts of activity. And be sure that when you do an aerobic activity that you're active for at least 10 minutes at a time to get the maximum benefits. It's also very important to do muscle strengthening activities. This keeps us strong so we can go about our daily activities and stay at home and do our own cooking and shopping and gardening. These muscle strengthening activities should be moderate to high intensity, involve all your muscle groups, and you should do these at least 2 or more days a week. Some examples would be using hand weights, and as you get stronger, you can increase the amount of weight, and also doing exercises to strengthen your lower legs. If you feel you're unable to do physical activity because of a health condition, check with your healthcare provider and still try to be as active as you can. They'll have some ideas of how you can incorporate physical activity into your daily life. Now, if you haven't been active for a while, it's very important to increase your activity gradually. For example, you may just want to add 5 or 10 minutes a week to your program. And don't forget to include balance exercises. These exercises can help prevent us from falling. Examples are Tai Chi and yoga. Next, we're going to meet a very special person, Dr. Bill Flatt. He has followed a lot of these eating and physical activity guidelines that we've been talking about, and he's going to share with you his very special journey in which he's lost a lot of weight, even as an older adult, and he's kept it off for nearly 2 decades.
Most of the time I weighed about 220 pounds. At one time I got up to as much as 239 pounds. But I felt like that I was really muscular. So even though my body mass index was about 33 or 34, I felt like I'm in good shape, that's muscle rather than fat. I had 64 pounds of body fat, or 30% of my total body weight was fat. And so I realized that was pretty high, that I was obese rather than just having a high body mass index because of muscle. The recommendation was do not lose it rapidly. Do it very slowly, a half a pound to a pound a week. And since there are 3,500 calories in a pound of fat, if I was going to lose a pound of fat per week, I'd need to have a negative energy balance of 500 calories per day. And I could do that by decreasing my caloric intake and or increasing physical activity. Different types of exercise that I could take. And one of them was walking, and walking is an excellent exercise. In fact, they highly recommend that we walk about 10,000 steps a day, which is equivalent to about 5 miles. Jogging was one, but since I had 64 pounds of fat, I would jiggle if I jogged 3 to 5 nights a week. I would put the video in and sweat to the oldies, and the weight just came right on down. And also I started to eating more fruits and vegetables. The recommendation is at least 5 servings of fruits and vegetables per day. If you're losing weight, it ought to be 10. For goodness sakes, don't go on one of the fad diets. Don't try to lose it too fast, because the tendency will be for it to come back up. So my recommendation again would be to change your lifestyle, and as a result of that, I think people can be successful. It's really, really hard if you're obese to be able to keep that weight off. And he said if you can keep the weight off by continuing to exercise and continuing to eat fewer calories per day for a 5-year period, then the chances would be that you'll be able to keep it off for the rest of your life. I was not aware of sarcopenia, and what that is it's an age-related loss of muscle and an age-related loss of strength. And when I saw the cross section, it looked like a ham, but it was cross section of a thigh as a result of aging. Over a 10-year period, you could lose as much as 25% of your strength as a result of sarcopenia, and the body weight could stay the same, but the amount of muscle mass that would decrease, and the only way that you could prevent this was by weightlifting or strength training, and aerobic exercise would not be effective in that part of it. To prevent the sarcopenia, it needs to be strength training, though. And so just bicycling or sweating to the oldies or dancing would not be sufficient. So altogether, I've lost over 50 pounds since I started back in 1989, and I feel as good as ever, and I'm actually stronger than I was back when I was 58 years old. So here's 20 years that I think is probably a good example of what a fat old man can end up doing.